I remember a friend of mine said something one time, and he says, what makes him the maddest is when we say things like, well, the school system is teaching our kids this, the school system is doing that. He says, that is the stupidest words and the most irresponsible words I've ever heard anybody say. It is not the school's responsibility to teach your kids. It is your responsibility to teach your kids. It is your responsibility, but we want to blame off everything that happens to us on somebody else. I can sit here and blame my financial condition, all these different things. Well, my parents didn't teach me this thing. Carrie, it don't matter what my parents taught me or did. I am responsible for my decision. The sooner I can say, okay, I am responsible, I can take accountability, I can move forward. I can deal with it on a level of something I can understand. So, Lance said says yesterday, he says, now Monty, make sure you're ready. I said, Lance, I have been making sure I'm ready. I have been doing this now for, I know, particularly 3 days, getting everything, and I said, by the time Monday gets here, I won't be 1,000%, but I'll be 90%, which is a lot better than 1%. Now, mind you, if I was healthy, Eric, and I'd lose some of this weight, and I would be everything, then I could be hitting 100. But you know, the other side of it is, I'm like this old man. He went to his doctor, and his old man, he says, doctor, he says, I don't understand. He says, I got me a chair down by my mailbox. I walk from my house to my mailbox, and I sit down, and I get my mail, and I sit down in my chair. When I rested, I get up, and I walk back to the house. And he goes, what is the problem, doctor? And he says, and how old are you? He says, I'm 93. He says, next question. You're an old guy. Deal with it. This is what life is going to be. I'm an old guy. I have to deal with what I'm doing, and I have to. But the other side of it is that if I continue to work and continue to burn and do not take care of myself, what's going to happen to me is it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be good. I'm going to crash and burn. I'm not going to achieve what I want to achieve. What I'm telling you is we have to start looking at what is keeping us back. Yesterday it hit me while Lance and I were out there working. It's so funny because I was telling Eric about it, Eric and Zeke. Here we are, we was hot, we was sweaty, and the lady came out and she says, what, Lance? You remember? She says, I don't know how y'all do that. We both laughed. We choose to. We choose to. You know, the thing is that we'll suffer through it, but the other side of it is that which does not kill you will only make you what? Stronger. And the thing is that I want to get out there and I'm going to keep pushing myself because, Lance, guess what? Do you have something you want to achieve? Can you achieve it by not achieving it? No. What do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do with the rest of your life? Myself, I cannot tell you the times, oh my gosh, that God has intervened in ways. The other day, I've known something was going on, and I really felt this urge about securing my equipment. And long story short, I'd even had all my stuff. I'd set it out there because I hadn't had my trailer organized yet. Had not had it how I wanted things. I watched a video, and it talked about the most stolen thing within lawn care business, and it was the backpack blowers. The number one stolen thing. And you know why they're the number one stolen thing?
It's easy to secure.
You got to understand why they're easy to get to, why they're there. Because the backpack blower, if you've ever mowed a lawn, what stage is the backpack mower? The end. No, what happens is, this is what happens, is that by the time you're done with the job, what do you want to do? You want to go. Huh? There you go. People go over there, they throw it in the back of the truck, and then they're going to go. Well, the problem is that when they get to their new job, where is the backpack blower? The last place they put it at. People drive by there and they kind of go, boom, gone. Number one, because again, you're tired, you've exhausted. So the last thing you want to do in this world is put it back in its place, lock it back up, and go through all these things. And so I've got this whole process that I'm doing of leaning out Kaizen lands. I'm leaning out everything that I do. I'm trying to think about ways to make it all far more efficient. Well, I hadn't got there yet, but something was telling me. And so I've heard that. So I started securing my backpack more, but I still left some things out. And so I'm in this neighborhood, and I'm in the back, in the fence area, and I had to push mow it. And I'm back here finishing up, and I come out, and as I come out, something had a check in my spirit. And it says, look. So I looked down the road, and there was an older model red GMC sitting back there, just sitting, and kind of the road goes this way. It's over by y'all's house. It goes this way, and then it kicks off at just dead end because it's like there's a few houses right there, and then there's a field. This guy was sitting there. And so I walked out, and as I walked out, I did this. I stopped and I looked at it. What do you think the guy did? Gone. Because he knew. He knew that I knew.
He was casing you, man.
Yeah, he was casing me. But see, this is God. This is God telling me, hey, money, check it out. And I'm putting a check within your spirit. This is where I've been trying to talk to you guys about getting yourself in this place. Imagine if we really had God running interference for us so much, but yet God is not at our 100% functionability because why? We're not there.
We're either ahead of him one step or behind him. We're not right next to him to hear what he's telling us.
The bigger thing is that we equate what we want, but we never ask where's the problems. So, what I did and what I started having to do is I started having to secure my stuff. So I've been eliminating all these different things and putting locks on all these different areas and doing all these different things and doing all this for the sole purpose of protecting what is my blessing. Imagine if we did this in every aspect of our life. As an example, Jessica, I cannot tell you, y'all know my big number one sin. And my big number one sin is Lowe's or Home Depot. And what I mean by this, I cannot tell you how many times that I walk Saturday. Here I am 120 years old. And I go back there and they've got, it was my job to pick up the 6x6s. Does anybody know how heavy a treated 8-foot 6x6 is? Yes. I had those of them things. Then I had concrete. Do you think anybody from Home Depot said, hey, do you need a hand with this? Matter of fact, the last lady at Lowe's that asked me this question, I said, yes, I do, but I ain't going to get it. What do you mean? I'll call somebody. I said, I ain't going to wait. I said, you may call all you want to, but I know your labor pool. So I'm not expecting it. I'm going to take care of myself because I have to. I have to do these things because, again, I know the reality. I'm not waiting on somebody else. I've got to do it. So quite naturally, if you're not going to do that job, Monty wants to extend punishment to you. In other words, then you're going to do this job, and I'm not going to make your job any easier. I'm not going to push the buggy from here all the way over there because you're lazy. Come get this stupid buggy. All of a sudden I hear God say, is that how you want to be? No, man, no. Let me have my punishment. Is that what you want to be? No, I want to be blessed. Then put your stupid card up because it's the right thing. God almighty. Why am I stuck with doing the right thing when everybody else can seem to be profiting doing the wrong thing? Because they're not his. You are mine. You have a set conduct that you have to behave. I was telling a young man the other day, you want to be boss? Then guess what? You're a leader. The problem with being a leader is you have to understand one thing. Everybody pretends that you're their friend, that you're this, that you're that. But the cold-hearted reality is you are still a suit. You're still a suit. You're still a hat. And when that pose, we call them white hats. You're a white hat. We're a blue hat. We're different. If you're a leader, understand something. You either have somebody who hates you because you're a leader, and the reason why they hate you is because they themselves will not be a leader. And they want to kill you for being the leader. Because you are doing what they know that they should do, but yet they don't want to do this because it's not what they want to do. They still want to have 1 foot here and 1 foot there. The problem is you can't have 1 foot here and 1 foot there. If you're going to be a leader, you can't be one of them. Pure and simple. You can't be them. You can't be their buddy. My pastor years ago told me this. They hired one of their families to come in and clean the church. They never cleaned the church until right before church. They paid them good money to clean the church. But they wanted to correct them. But these were Yankees. You can always tell the Yankees, but you can't tell them much.
Right.
The thing is that so here these are, and my pastor, everybody wanted to correct them, but you know what? You can't correct some people. Some people are stupid. You try to correct them, they're going to counter you. They're going to offer all their reasons and definitions and all their extensions. You're better off, honestly, sometimes just shooting people. It's simple. But the thing is, he says, he said, I said, well, first thing is, I said, so what are you going to do about it? He said, I don't know. I said, I'm going to pray. He says, well, one thing is you got to understand, Monty. He says, you never hire anybody you can't fire. If you can't fire them, don't hire them. I told this young man the other day, this deal, this boat, and I've told you the story about this boat. There was this guy. He is captain of a boat. It was a corporate cruise line. And corporate cruise lines always want to overbook. Why? Because passage, that's how they do it. Sometimes you got people overselling. So the thing is that, but as well, they minimize costs because for every spot that they have, in case something happens, they have to have the ability for lifeboats to get them off the boat. Well, somebody decided that, hey, if we'll get rid of a few of these lifeboats, we can have more spaces here. Well, long story short, they only had enough for a percentage of the people. The captain had to choose which people was living, which people was going to die. The moral to the story is, if you cannot choose who's going to live and who's going to die, don't choose to be captain of the ship. You can't be a leader. But if you want to be a leader, be the leader. This is your role. This is the role that you want. If you want to be a business owner, you have to think. But the other side of this thing is that I want to find out where God wants me to be at. Because where I want to be and what I think is, as I've told you, I'm now planning for the winter. I'm now trying to think about what Monty's going to be doing during the winter. Because guess what you don't do during the winter? You don't mow grass. The grass don't grow. Bills still come. I praise God that I've been focusing on saving enough money to pay my bills during the winter, so I've got that handled. But yet, I'm not going to stay there, David. I want to make sure that I go in the spring better than I went into this season. I'm thinking ahead. But why am I still finding blockage? In other words, why is it that I'm still not having a complete picture? What am I missing? I'm doing this, doing this, doing this. But what am I not touching? What am I not changing? What in my life? In other words, as I told y'all this story, your relationship with God is your business. It's hard for me to say that. It's hard for me as a pastor, as a teacher, to say, and I've told you, I cannot stand preachers who get up here and preach on time. The thing is that understand something. If y'all think that that's the kind of preacher that I am, then y'all miss me completely. y'all missed me completely, because if I wanted that type of a church, I think I would be obviously dressing and approaching, and y'all would see me want to go everywhere with y'all and investing in your lives and stuff like that, because I would be wanting what? I would want to be sucking up. I want y'all to grow and wanting money, make this thing grow. How do you do this? By investing in your people, you being there. I love AJ, and I love his family. I would just as soon be shot in the head as have to go somewhere. I don't want to, but I know what I need to do, and I know I'm going to go. But the thing is that that's just not me. I'm not a public person. I'm not that person, because I know too many people that that's what they do to suck up. I'm not that person. I am an introvert. I don't like crowds. I don't like people. I don't like awkward situations. I remember going to a place one time, and I had one of my family members walk up, and he said, "Preacher man, here, drink this beer." No. "Oh, so you're too good to drink a beer." No, it's Busch Light. If I'm going to drink a beer, it's not going to be a Busch Light. I'm sorry. There's a reason they're cheap. But the second thing is that I understand the value, or how many rephrase this, the weight of my public representation. I understand the weight, because people's like, and I used to tell people, man, don't ever tell me you're coming to the church. Don't tell me this, because next time I see you, you're going to be like, because I know you're going to lie to me. I want to come visit the church. I shut up. I don't care. Because I'd rather you not tell me and then show up versus tell me, because I'm going to be looking for you and you never show up. And the next time I see you, you're like, "Oh, I lied." Or when you go around a group of people, like, don't cuss. Put your feet down. Pass it. You know, the thing is that I'm sinner just like you. I'm trying my best to be a better man, but I have frailties. I have fallings. I have the things. But I understand when I'm around certain people, if I want to drink a beer, I want to drink a beer. But